on all my socials that I'm streaming. So let me just go to my social media posts. All right. So I'm going to be starting my Elements stream today. I'm just going to be making my Elements app in Figma. Well, basically I'm going to be remaking it. Well, okay. Oh, nope. Let's go with 4x. I'm just exporting my streaming graphics. This is like a graphic I made for Twitch streaming. So I'm just gonna export that really quick and I'm gonna go ahead and post it. So this is my design Instagram, designed by Sana F. Please go follow it if you like this stream. And yeah. So let me just announce it really quick. Where is my stream link? Here. I'm currently streaming my second design today. See you there. All right. Hashtag UX UI. Hashtag UX UI design. Hashtag Twitch streamer. All right, we're gonna go with that. I should say here's the link. Where's my Twitch? Right. Oh, ignore that. Oh, ignore that. That was so weird. I could see myself in like third person. Okay. I'm gonna post that. And I'm gonna post this on my LinkedIn as well. I'm gonna go ahead and post this on my stories, stuff like that. Just gonna use my phone, post this on my story. I'm gonna go to my personal as well. And just go ahead. Okay. Now, honestly, I'm just gonna copy my Instagram and then go ahead and post. Okay. Alright, so everything is now posted to socials and I am ready to start streaming. So, what are you yeah, alright, I'm gonna go over that right now. So today we're gonna go over one of my first personal projects that I've ever made. It's called Elements. If you don't know, this is my UX design portfolio. I recently redid it. So yeah, we're gonna go over Elements. So basically, Elements is an app that I created, like it's an app prototype that I created for it's like based off of Pokemon Go, but basically it's a walking AR app that allows you to go to different locations, collect virtual items at those locations, and then use those items to build different types of environments and even share those with your friends. So I'm gonna just show you kind of in this stream, I'm kind of just gonna go over like how I came up with research decisions and how I did some of my research as well. I should also go to my docs that will kind of go over what we're doing today as well. Where is content planning? Let me see. Let me just pull up a document really quick before we start. Chatting. I'll just put it back at chatting here. I'm just trying to find the stream notes that I had for today, just so that, our stream isn't like super disorganized or anything. Let's see. If I don't find it in like a few minutes, I'm just gonna continue without it. Oh, found it. Perfect. All right, we are back, guys. So today I'm gonna be going over, like I said, an AR app that I created a prototype for. It's called Elements, and basically this app is based off of Pokemon Go, and it's a walking app that incorporates AR. So like if you go to a different location, a lot of times in Pokemon Go you can go to like a real world location, you walk there and you find a Pokemon and then you can collect that Pokemon. But here, instead of collecting Pokemons at virtual Pokemons at different locations. You walk to a location and you collect like a virtual item, and then you can use that item to build different environments that you can then share with your friends. So you'll be able to kind of see more of what it is a little bit later in the stream, but I also want to go over kind of like the research and design decisions that I took to make this app. So this is like my case study that I have on my portfolio, and this kind of just like walks you through like the basics of how I made it. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and give you guys a quick demo just so you have a better idea. I was planning to do this a little bit later in the stream, but now that I think about it, I feel like actually showing you the app first might be the best idea. So basically you start out and you're here, start out, and you start, and you can click on like, so these are all like locations on the map that you can walk to. So say you want to go to this location, you go there, see that's you going there, that's like an animation, and once you get there, you scan with your phone, you scan around and you try to find like the item, and you can find it. And once you find all the items in the location, you can just click out. And now this is actually this is like a part that Pokemon Go doesn't really do, but you can start building with these items. So, you know, you click on it, and you can start building like a little environment here. And then you can share it. And this is your feed. So this is like all your builds. And then you can see all your builds, and you can see like your inventory as well. And this is still a walking app, so we still show them walking statistics. So you can see like how much you're walking. You can see your friends too, and you can see like what they've been building. You can also see like what they're trading with as well. So you can trade on this app too. So like if you click on trade, you can trade with people. And you can also go to other people's profiles and see their builds as well, their inventories, so you know like if you want an item from somebody. And then after that, another cool thing that I allow users to do is just like switching between different elements. So you can go to water mode and you will only go to like water locations. You can go to earth mode, you'll only go to earth locations. You can go to air mode, you'll only go to air locations. Then you can go to fire mode and you'll only go to fire locations. So this is like kind of more of a concept app. It's like a cool concept app I created in Adobe XD. It was like really early on in my design career. I was still in college when I created this, but I really created it kind of just to get a really good idea of design research as well as like design and visual prototyping. So we're gonna be looking at some of my research decisions today, and then we're also gonna be looking at like recreating this app in Figma, because I created this in Adobe XD, but I wanted to see like, okay, can we recreate this, maybe make it even a little bit different, and you know, try it out. So in the next 2 or 3 streams, I'm gonna just be doing this project, but after that I want to be creating a new project on stream. So this is just gonna be like, I guess, like some context for me. But yeah, so you know, let's see. So basically I started out, you know, you have project details here. When you have a case study, by the way, if you want to check out my case studies to get a better idea of how to lay out your case studies, I would totally, you know, be flattered if you did. I think it would be super cool, like, you know, if somebody checked out mine, case study for inspiration, I would take that as a huge compliment. But anyway, first I kind of just start out by like laying out the project details. So as I said earlier, this was more of like a solo project, and I used a lot of Adobe XD. I used a lot of Adobe Illustrator as well. I took like a good 2 months to do this because I really was trying to learn like visual prototyping. But really the deliverables was an app prototype. So I also so the first thing I did was more like market and domain research. So I really looked at like, okay, is there really a market for this type of app? And I really looked at like, okay, AR and gamification, like are these fields really blowing up? Like, are they are they growing? Does it make sense to even try making this? Like, if I wanted to make this a real product, would it last? That's kind of what I was like trying to get proof of. And what I found was that like it's a huge industry and it totally makes sense, and there's definitely a reason Pokemon Go went like the gamification and AR route. There's definitely a reason. I think actually like having AR in Pokemon Go is like one of the most standout features of their app. So yeah, I just like did some background research, and ultimately I wanted to make it so that walking is more fun. Like I really love walking personally. I like walking around, I like hiking, all of those things, but I was wondering if there's like a way to make it more immersive and more fun through an app. So that's like the whole point of the app. And here I just kind of like lay out my high level goals and then my specific goals. I created a journey map for this as well. So like I said, the two main apps I really looked at was Pokemon Go and Pacer. And I looked at like different aspects of them and what made them kind of stick. So I think like for Pokemon Go, a lot of it was nostalgia. So I feel like a lot of people already are familiar with Pokemon and they have like a really good grip on the branding. But I also think like they did something really cool where like if you watch the shows, a lot of times like kids, like me personally, I've always been like, oh, I want to like catch Pokemon and everything. And I think they incorporated AR, and they really found like the perfect opportunity to kind of like bank on that and being like, okay, now you can go out there and catch Pokemon on your walks. So I think that's like really a great feature that they added. And my audience for Elements isn't quite the same because I don't have like an established brand, but I really like did see the big appeal in AR. I did think that one thing that Pokemon Go wasn't really doing is just kind of like allowing users to interact with the app outside of their walks. So that's like something I saw as an opportunity area. Another app that I found that I thought was really strong is called Pacer. It's just a very simple walking app that I personally use, but I just really love how intuitive the interface is, and I think it's just super simple, and it gives you a really good idea of like, okay, how much you're walking, where you're walking. So that was, like a big inspiration for the for the UI. You can tell AI is on my mind. I'm going to an AI event like this weekend, so AI is now on my mind. But that was kind of the inspiration for the UI, and I think that really was the pros for how I made my app. That was kind of my UI, and even like kind of logic research, if that makes any sense. But after that, I did some interviews with 3 users. I didn't do a whole lot of UX research in this project just because I wanted to get like a taste of UX design research, but I didn't want to like delve too deep because it was a personal project and it was also like the first one I've ever done. So I went and talked to 3 people and I asked them they were all Pokemon Go players, by the way. right? And I kind of asked them, you know, what their experience with AR was, their experience with gamification, and, you know, their experience with fitness apps, and what they thought about my app concept as well. So I kind of learned that, you know, I should probably target like a little bit of older users, just because even if they have like Pokemon Go nostalgia, I feel like they could still like, they won't be the target audience for Pokemon Go, so they might appreciate my app a little bit more. And you know, I think a user told me this when I was interviewing them, like an interviewee. They were saying that, you know, when I use Pokemon Go, a lot of times I can't do anything with the app outside of my walks. Like I just go collect a Pokemon and come back, and it's just, there's no other way for me to interact with the app, and it gets kind of old after a while. So I saw that as an opportunity area, and I wanted to think like, okay, what's a good way that I can, you know, kind of add something a little bit more, like add something to the Pokemon Go concept. So that's kind of what inspired me to even include the build feature. And then after that, I actually conducted a competitive analysis. So like I laid out like a competitive analysis table. So in UX design, basically a competitive analysis is when you compare like whatever's out there with oh, somebody asked me, what am I doing? Weed for Dumbos. I am showing off my UX design project. I'm a UX designer, and I'm just showing off one of my earlier personal projects. So yeah, I'm gonna be recreating this app in Figma. So I'm gonna be recreating, here, I'll give you a link if you guys are in chat as well. But this is my case study if you want to take a look at it. But I'm gonna be recreating this app that I made in Adobe XD called Elements in Figma. But yeah, so back to what I was saying, I did a competitive analysis. So I laid out kind of, you know, some metrics to see like, okay, what's a good opportunity area. I already had some ideas of this after I did interviews, but I wanted to kind of just like lay it out. And in UX design, we always do like competitive analysis tables. So I created one, and I have one to show you guys as well. And you can create this like on paper. It's really just a simple table. You could do this in Excel. I chose to do this in Adobe XD itself because I'm very like comfortable with Adobe XD. So I just like created, you know, columns and rows, and just looked at Pokemon Go, Pacer, and then I found this app called Zombie Run, which is a walking app, and then I found Map My Walk. So I kind of used these 4 apps to do my competitive analysis, but I was mostly like focusing on Pokemon Go and Pacer. In hindsight, if I was to redo this, I would probably only look at Pokemon Go and Pacer, and I'd probably do a more in-depth analysis of them. And after that, I created a user persona, and I'll show you guys how you could create one. So user personas are actually very easy to create, but basically the idea is it's like laying out, okay, who would use your app. So like if I was to think about like, okay, who's gonna use this, what type of person would use this app. So there's like a lot of templates out there, and a lot of people have different things, but you can really, what's most important I think in a user persona to include is obviously the name, the age, what they do. I think goals and pain points, goals and motivations, they're pretty important. Maybe you might want to have like a quick bio, but I think really it's like pain points and goals and motivations that's the most important to include in a user persona, because that's really what you want to understand. Like, what do they want to do with your app? Why are they using your app? That's what you're trying to figure out. Okay. So if you have like an Adobe Cloud subscription, you could use like any of these user persona templates. I personally really like this one. As you can tell, like I didn't change the picture or the name, but I think it's a great way to do personas. So like if you want, let's say for elements, right, what were my motivations and goals? Let's see. So I did enjoyment. So you can just like edit it in here, but really you could make a user persona even just with like a paper and pencil. You can make a user persona in Excel. There's all sorts of ways you can do it. You could even make one in like Adobe XD or Figma itself. There's a bunch of Figma templates too. I'm actually going to show you one of my friends' user personas. So he does user personas really well in my opinion. So he created, I think you've laid out this persona really well. This is a super cool project, by the way. I would definitely check it out. I'm gonna drop a link, actually. But yeah, you just like have, let's show off. But yeah, so you have like tasks, goals, pain points, and you can kind of just like lay out their personality as well. You can, add technology. It really depends what you want to show and what you want to highlight. But, and you're really like free to decide what goes on those personas. But the idea is you have to have a really clear picture of who you're designing your app for. So, okay, I did personas. And then after that, I created a low fidelity prototype, and I'm just going to show you guys that really quick. So I just made it like super simple. Wait, I'm just going to start this again. So I made this like super simple. I wanted to just show it to some people to kind of show off my proof of concept a little bit more, just so that people could understand like, okay, this is kind of what I'm envisioning, and they could give me some pointers. So I laid this out, and then I had them like go to the location, tap on tree, and you can use this tree and build stuff. And then you have your walking, you can see what your friends are doing. In this version I didn't have build, so that was like a main thing here. I didn't have like a build feature. Did have build, but I wanted to test like, okay, what do people kind of think about this? And they said they wanted people to be able to share their builds. Actually, somebody said like, oh, it would be really cool like if we could share our builds. And then also somebody gave me the idea of like allowing us to trade. That way like users could interact with each other in the app as well, so it's not just like and right now like in Pokemon Go I think you can actually do that. So definitely it's like something that was kind of high priority. And also people didn't really like this levels feature that I put there. This was kind of a rough prototype, and I kind of wanted to just show like where I was thinking in terms of gamification. So they kind of thought about like, oh, maybe take out the levels feature, as it's like it's just like kind of a little demotivating and probably not what they want to see. And then maybe have a friends feed instead. So then this is like how I've laid out my high fidelity prototype here. So I just like show them my design solution and my visual system, and then my high fidelity prototype. And yeah, so this is like basically the whole research portion of my project. But now I kind of want to go into starting looking at laying out kind of the whole first let's actually pause and see if anybody has anything interesting in chat to say. All right, but yeah, so the second part that I'm gonna do now is basically I'm gonna be recreating my app now in Figma, and I'm not gonna recreate the whole entire app because there's like so many details that I have made in Adobe XD, but I'm gonna create kind of some of the main functions. So I'm gonna be recreating this map. And I'm also going to try to recreate this animation. I'm going to recreate kind of the collection function, and then I'll be recreating the build function, as well as having the feed, trading, and then also just like this walking metrics. So something I did beforehand was I went back in and I kind of created some basic templates that I'm gonna use for creating all of for kind of fleshing out the rest of the app. And I didn't create anything like too crazy, but this is just the basic templates. But we're kind of gonna start off by creating the map. So I laid out like a bunch of references that I used for the earlier map. Oh, by the way, this is an other app I created called Magic Potion, and I just have this here as like a reference or like a base if I need some UI elements or something. I'm gonna make this version of elements in Figma in dark mode, so I'm gonna have to change the color scheme up a bit, and I actually want to try to make the color scheme a little bit more accessible. Something like a critique that I've often gotten when I show people elements is like, oh, we love the app, it's great, it's just that I can't see some things, and I feel like usability wise it might be a little bit not fully there. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my references here, and the first step is going to be recreating this map. But we're gonna be doing most of that in tomorrow's stream. So we're gonna be recreating the map, and then I'm gonna be I'm gonna show you how to recreate the map, and then I will show you how to recreate some of these main screens and also some of these main functions as well. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super glad I could go over some of the research portion in this stream. I'm literally going to be streaming tomorrow, so I'm going to get to kind of the meat of this project, and hopefully, if there's enough time, I'll be able to show you everything, but I might need like another stream for that as well. But yeah, it was super fun hanging out with you guys today. I will definitely see you for the next stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. See you tomorrow.